Hey girls, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a very highly requested video. This is going to be a very affordable drugstore slash affordable brand tutorial. So I do have drugstores and also very affordable brands like BH Cosmetics, Milani Cosmetics, Elf Cosmetics, L'Oreal, and so much more. I know the holidays are here and girl, we are balling on a budget, okay? We cannot break that budget. And I understand some makeup products, we have so much to do. We have a lot of gifts to give. We have other things in mind. So right now, buying a $340 brush set is not on the list, girl. So this is more like a silver-y, smoky eye type of lip with a very bold lip. So this is more on the glam side. You can switch it up as however you want it to be. You can switch it up with a nude lip. You can skip the glitter. You can do so much to this look. It's totally up to you. If you girls want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching and make sure you subscribe and like this video. Okay guys, so let's get started. Excuse the noise in the background. The gardeners outside doing their thing, so let's just get into the video. I just did one of the brows. I am only using just affordable products today. So the thing that I'm using for my brows today, it's one by Milani Cosmetics. This is the 02 Medium Brown Brow Shaping Kit. So this is it, and it comes with 3 shades. Actually, this is more for like the highlighter bone, which is under the brow. And then we have the lighter shade, which usually you can do it in front of the brow just to kind of not make it so harsh. And then also we have the darker part, which is usually goes at the end of the brow. So this is in the 02. I'm not sure if they have like different shades. I think so. They should though. But for me, I'm just using the 02. I am going to be taking a BH Cosmetics brush. This is from like the Coral collection. I will link everything down below for you guys. And this is in the number 9. So first, I am going to be taking my concealer. This is by LA Girl Cosmetics concealer. And this is in the shade Classic Ivory. So I will be carving out my brows first. And then after, I'll go ahead and start filling them in. As far as for the Pro LA concealers, you can find these at any store. Well, not any. Like, you know those fashion stores where they sell, you know, fashion clothes like Q's or something, Get Cute or something like that. I don't know. I believe Forever 21, maybe Walmart. I might not be sure, but you know those fashion stores or any local store, so they have some of these. Maybe Ulta as well. Okay, so I am going to be taking my concealer and I am just going to pretty much outline my brows really, really close. Something like that. I'm just literally outlining them. If it goes onto the brow, don't worry. And from the excess product, I am just going to go ahead and start bringing it down to kind of like the brow bone. And you can use this as a base as well. You don't have to use this LA Girl concealer. You can use any concealer that you have. The thicker, the better. Yeah. I'm moving forward with the BH Cosmetics number 7 brush. Now this is more of like the fluffier side, but it's really, really thin. So it's perfect to kind of just buff the concealer under the brow. Brow, it does come with a little brush, an angled brush, but I don't know where that little thing went. So I am going to be using an Elf Cosmetics brush. This is the number 203 brush, and it comes with the spoolie as well, but I like to use this as an eyeliner as well. So I'm just going to take the darker side of the brow shade, and I'm just going to use that and apply it all over the brow. So just starting off at the middle of the brow and just kind of working my way on the bottom part lining of the brow. So I'm pretty much outlining the brow first. The heaviest part of the powder is literally where you place it. So I always like to start it off in the middle and then working that out. And then once I have that, I am just going to go ahead and start filling this in. Brow powder is very, very soft. If you like something a little bit darker or you're that type of person who doesn't have any brow, I will stick to kind of like a pomade gel, and Elf Cosmetics does carry something like that. A lot of people have recommended me to try the Elf like pomade gel ones. So if you really don't like the powders, then I suggest and recommending you to try the Elf. I've personally never tried the Elf, but I've heard really great reviews about it. Once I get in front of the brow, I'm just doing very light strokes. I'm not really going too crazy. I'm flipping the brush kind of flat and then just pushing the product back. So you want this part of the brow not to be so dark. And then take yours fully, and then you want to make sure that this is really nicely blended and diffused. You don't want anything too harsh, so blend the product out with this fully. Now that my brows are done, I am going to be using kind of like a gel, brow gel, to kind of just set that and make it last all day. And this one is by Maybelline. It's a Great Lash. It's just called the Great Lash by Maybelline. It's clear. You can use it on your eyelashes and you can use it on your brows. So this is very affordable as well, and it's bomb as fuck. So I definitely love using this one by Maybelline. Alright guys, so I got a little bit close. So as a base for my eyes, I did use my LD Girl concealer. The same thing, classic ivory all over the eyes. So next I am going to be going in with my Milani palette. This is it right here. This is the 05 Earthy Elements. And it comes with all these shades here. So the main shades that I'm using in this palette is these two right here. So this light brown right here and this more of the orangey shade as well. As my blending brush today, I am using the Milani Cosmetics blending brushes. These Milani brushes are definitely bomb as fuck, okay? You guys need to jump on these because they have a collection of brushes. The ones with the gold hardware right here, they are really good. So I'm taking the brown shade and I am going to be placing this as my transition shade, and I'm going to be going in with this in the crease only. Okay, so my camera, I'm getting a new camera, guys. So my camera has not been, you know, showing the true shades of the shadows. And I realized that in my last video when I did like that burnt orangey shade, and it wasn't as bright as it was in person. So I am going to be getting a better camera because my Nikon sucks, girl. Okay, so I'm blending this in the crease only. So back and forth, and then bringing it up a little bit higher. Palette is very natural, so if you like an everyday eyeshadow, this palette is great for you. I'm taking that orangey shade now and just applying this in that same area. So kind of building the colors already. Just building those colors. So I don't add just one layer, I add a good amount of layers to get the color payoff. Next, to darken it up a little bit more, I am going to be taking my BH Cosmetics Satin Bronzers, and this is in a totally tan. This is how it looks like. I am going to deepen it up a little bit more. I'm not sure, a lot of people have been messaging me about these not being in the website, so I'll definitely make sure that they are discontinued or whatnot. Because I know a lot of you guys have been trying to get these and they're always sold out or they're not found on the website. So I'll definitely make sure and let you guys know. And just applying it in the crease area just to kind of warm it up a little bit more. I'm going to be taking these little small eyeshadow things from Milani Cosmetics, and this is in the shade 30 Bella Diamond. It's more of like a white shade, and I'm going to be applying this with my BH Cosmetics number 8 brush. So it's more of like a flat shadow brush. These shadows right here, I've seen them at the dollar store as well. So if you guys can get your hands on these are really bomb. This is in the black eyeshadow, so I can't really show because it's broken, as you can tell. But this is in the shade number 12 from Milani Cosmetics as well. As far as the brush, I am using the BH Cosmetics number 5 brush, so it's more smaller and dense as well, just to mainly focus this on one single area. You don't want the brush to be too fluffy, or else this shadow is going to go everywhere. And you don't want that, girl. So I'm mainly placing this in the outer part of the eye, just patting it and then kind of swiping it in. Depending how dark you want, you would want to stop, but I'm just going to keep it going. Nothing too black though, because I am going to be using a bold to lip color, so I don't want too much going on. So I'm taking that same Milani blending brush and I'm just going to continue buffing this in, kind of extending the eyeshadow out just a bit. You know how I like my eyeshadow. I really like to extend it. But if you don't like that, just kind of focus on blending in circular motion and not extending it out. We're going to come back to the eyeshadow. I am going to be taking my Pro Concealer by LA Girl once again. And I'm going to be cutting the front part of my eyes just so we can have a nice base for the glitter eyeshadow that we're going to apply next. So I am using the same brush from the brows. This is the number 9 brush by BH Cosmetics. So really, I am going a little bit above my natural lining of the lid. So you want to go a little bit higher, not too much, or else it's going to look way awkward. So you want to keep it a little bit higher, just a little bit, or just on the lid. You don't want to add too much product like concealer on the brush because it is a watery based concealer. So if we add too much, then we're going to have this all over the place. So a little goes a long way too. So I'm just going to push it back a little bit more, just pushing it not too out, but just enough. I'm blending the eyeshadow with the concealer. Next, as a base for the glitter, I am going to be using silver today. So I am going to be using the same Milani little circle things right here. And then this is in the shade number 20, Bella Silver. And I'm just going to be using my Morphe M508 brush. This brush, I think it's like $2 to $3, so it's still affordable to get as well. This shadow here is very shimmery, so I mean, you can skip the glitter if you want, but if you want that extra pop, then you can go ahead and add the glitter as well. But this by itself will look really nice as well. Back to the eyeshadow. I am going to be using the glitter. This is the e.l.f. Cosmetics new liquid glitter liners, and these glitters are bomb, guys. Like, you guys don't understand because they don't crease on the eyes like, you know, the higher brands that I've been using, like Urban Decay, Stila, things like that, or the NYX ones. The NYX ones, you can't use them all over the eyes. Compared to this one, I'm really loving this. Like, it's bomb. So this is in the shade Sparkling Silver. So I am going to be placing this all over the eyes. So when I get to the top part right here, I am going to mainly outline it to keep it sharp as possible. To be reapplying that black shade and just kind of dabbing it onto the eyeshadow. Moving on to the face. So before anything else, you do want to make sure you prep and prime before any application, foundation, powders, etc. So I'll be using, as for primer, I am going to be using the Milani Make It Last spray. This is more mattifying. My skin is combination, but during the holidays and especially during winter time, my skin gets super dry. So I don't want to overly mattify my face. So I'm gonna get away a little bit with going a little bit more on the dewy side, and as well as I'm just going to be using my Mario Badescu spray. This is about $7 at Ulta, and this is about $10 at the store, or even $7 online, like around Walmart. So either or is fine. So I am going to be using a illuminating liquid highlighter, which is one by e.l.f. Cosmetics, this one with the white bottle. I'm just going to be placing this only in the areas that I want more hydration, and also just to make it a little bit more dewy. And I am just going to be placing it here at the high bones of the cheekbone. Oh shit. A little bit of illumination. As far as foundation, this has been my everyday foundation anyways, but this is the L'Oreal Infallible Foundation, and I absolutely love this foundation. It's definitely full coverage. It's definitely mattifying. If you're extremely oily, this foundation is for you. If you're more on the drier side, I would try the dewy foundation because you don't want to over mattify your face. You need some hydration, girl. You need that water. So I'm mixing two shades, the 104 and the 108. The 104, it's a little bit lighter, and the 108 is a little bit darker. So these two combined for me is the perfect match. I'm going to be using this to apply my foundation. Loving to use a brush to apply my foundation because usually when I use my beauty blender, it really soaks up a lot of the product. So I kind of switched it up a bit and just use a brush now to apply my foundation, and then after use my beauty blender to buff the foundation into my skin without it soaking up some of the product. So next I'm going to be using that same LA Girl concealer to kind of cover up my under eyes and also brighten it up as well. So I'm taking the same color, Classic Ivory, and I love this stuff. Now, if you have darker circles, I don't have dark circles, so going really light right away is something that I like to do. But if you have darker circles, I don't recommend going too light. I would use a same tone color concealer first and then use a brighter shade as well. Nothing too bright, more on the peachy side, just so that, you know, you won't bring out those darker shades. And I like to use a lot, girl. A lot. So don't judge me. Okay? And then I'm just taking my beauty blender. This is just by the original brand beauty blender, but you can use whatever. Real Techniques is a good one as well, but the Real Techniques, I feel like it's more of a full coverage sponge. Compared to the beauty blender, it's more of the natural finish side, so I don't want to look too cakey. Next, to contour, I am using the same brand, LA Girl Cosmetics Pro Concealer, and this is in the shade Toffee, and I go a little bit 2 shades darker than my own skin tone, so maybe 3, but this is more on the warmer side. It's not too dark and harsh, so this is one of my favorite shades. So I like to place them on my hand. I used to, you know, kind of draw the lines, but you know, whenever I used the Infallible foundation, I felt like when I applied the straight lines, it was more harder to blend. So now I just grab some with a blending brush, apply some on my hand, and just kind of buff it in as I go. So I am going to be using the BH Cosmetics number 4 brush. It's the perfect brush to kind of contour with cream contours. And I just love this brush because it's small, it's fluffy, but not too large, so it won't go all over the place. So I'm just going to go ahead and just blend this into the skin. Just distributing the product all over the face. And I'm just going to be taking my beauty blender once again, and I'm just going to be patting the contour. You want to make sure it's well blended. You just don't want to leave it, you know, unblended, okay? Just to make sure everything is well melted into the face, because then after we leave anything unblended and just sitting on top of the face, that's where it starts getting creasy and cakey, and we don't want that. So I am going to be setting my face. Now this is the only thing that it's not drugstore. It's still kind of affordable in my opinion because this is 3 ounces. It's a big bottle full of translucent powder, but you can use the translucent powder by Airspun. I personally don't like it. I've tried it before and it was just so drying and it just cracked all over my face. So I just stick to my BenNye in the shade Cameo. You can get this online at camerareadycosmetics.com, and again I'll just link that down below. But I'm just gonna lightly press this into the skin, nothing too crazy. Set the contour on my face. I am going to be using the BH Cosmetics Totally Tan bronzer with my Milani Cosmetics blush brush. So with this, I'm just gonna go ahead and pat this bronzer. Now that my face is dry in this section, I can go ahead and buff it out. But once it's wet, I don't want it to kind of move it around too much because that's when the muddy, you know, lining comes through here. And that's my issue. So I'm just going to pat and then just kind of buff it out. So as I'm building, you see how the glitter here, it's not creasing. Usually when I'm busy doing the rest of my face, the eye starts creasing. And that's what I hate and despise. But you see, it's still dry. And it's not creasing whatsoever. I love this stuff. e.l.f. is you doing it, girl. You doing it, okay? As far as blush, I am going to be using BH Cosmetics Floral Blushes. I love this stuff. This is in the Caribbean Coral, and I'm going to be using a BH Cosmetics number 2 brush. It's more on the fluffier side. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. So what you want to do is you want to smile, girl. Smile like a creepy bitch. same translucent powder just to kind of sharpen up the contour. And going on with my highlights, I am going to be using the new highlighters by e.l.f. Cosmetics. This is in the shade Siren's Call. So this is more on like a darker orangey shade, and this is more on the lighter side. So I'm going to be using the lighter side with my BH Cosmetics number 3 brush. So it's a little bit fluffy. Actually, I'll put in some of that orange one too. Oh, okay, girl. More on the natural side. It's nothing too beaming and booming, okay? So I'm gonna apply some lashes and just finish up my waterline, and then we'll move on to the lips, and I'll be right back. So right now I am using the Milani lip paints or lip creams, the Amore Mattes. This is in the shade 06 Desire. Let's just say you don't like the matte finish lippies, then you can try the lip glosses. This is kind of like the same color, but this isn't a lip gloss. This is number 12 Read My Lips. Well, Read My Lips. That's how it's put in here.